So instead of starting out with a bunch of long winding scales, I like to start out with the easiest element, which is learning how to breathe. Now obviously you figured something out about breathing because you are alive. I have proof of this, you're here. And we want to give you the kind of breathing that I call passive breathing. I call it passive because you don't have to use much energy at all. In fact, you use no energy taking the air in and very little pushing it back out again, because there are essentially two parts to breathing. You've got your inhale, you've got your exhale. And above that, everything else is pretty simple. So the important thing to remember then is wherever you put your air in your body is where you will squeeze to push it out again.
Okay.
If you put it up here, if you put the air up here, you create a tension in your chest because you filled it up with air, and the only thing that's preventing it from escaping is your throat. If you put it in the diaphragm, in the midsection, that's better, but it still could go someplace where it causes less tension. I like to have you put your thumb in your navel, do that, and walk your fingers down about an inch or two, about the distance of a ping pong ball or a golf ball. I want you to imagine that ball is floating on the surface right under your navel. And imagine it as a small lung-shaped surface, and that's where we're going to put the air. We're not going to put the air here, we're not going to put it here, we're not going to put it here, we're not going to fill it up like a balloon. We're going to take in only the air that you need to satisfy your lungs. You do not want to expand your lungs to accommodate more than they can than satisfies them at rest. The first thing I would like you to do after you put your thumb there is squeeze down there. Squeeze and imagine it flowing out through your mouth like a giant turkey baster, or maybe a swan baster. And start out by let's find the spot and squeeze the air out, and then drop it when the air comes in. Good, squeeze it out. Open and drop. Well, that's brilliant. Do it again. Now, can you do it without making any sound on the inhale?
Okay.
So you can make all the noise you want on the exhale because that's the singing part,
Okay.
the speaking part. But on the intake, it should just loop right in.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep going. Now to lengthen it, you can hover at either end of it. Like hover and then close. And hover and then close. And it will really relax you. Try
Okay.
that. It's a good way to fight stage nerves.
Okay.
Don't fill beyond your resting capacity. It's good. You're moving here very smoothly. Two things usually come up. One is I have difficulty getting people to open their mouth and throat.
Okay.
It's somehow frightening to them. And the other thing is people will start with a breath. Because I ask them to start with an exhale, they'll take an inhale, a breath first, because human beings are so accustomed when they take an action to taking a breath before they do it. So I'm asking for an action, which is to exhale, but you don't need to, people will often go, they'll throw in a little extra breath.
Okay. Ba-doom-dee.